So I recently came across this rather interesting article on FLORACOPEIA. It's about some sacred trees of India, some sacred flowers of India. So let's go ahead, let's read that today. But before we start, Namaste everyone. Namaste all you fragrant people and welcome to Om Incense Show with DJ, a show that helps you increase your incense quotient. So if you are an incense enthusiast, consider subscribing, and you might just want to grab your favorite beverage and snacks and relax while I give you company. So today we are reading about Champa, Bakul and Parijat, sacred flowering trees of India. I'll be providing the link of this article in the description, so in case you wish to read it for yourself, you might just want to go to the FLORACOPEIA website and read this. So we have this Bakul, which is Mimosaups ilengi, Champa, which is Michelia champaka, and Parijat, which is Nyacanthus arbotristis, are among the most beautiful and sacred of India's many exotic flowering trees. Countless souls throughout the ages have lived in the gentle presence of these beneficent beings that give their barks, leaves, roots, seeds, resins, and flowers for medicine, ceremony, and pleasure. So rich are their contributions to traditional societies that the ancient rishis proclaimed these trees to be gifts from the heavenly realms, bestowed upon humanity and brought to earth by the gods of the Hindu pantheon. Endowed with religious symbolism and divine attributes, these three trees in particular are deeply entwined with the culture, lifestyle, and ancestral memories of people across the subcontinent. Bakul, Champa, and Parijat are all associated with various deities and are planted in and around the grounds of temples and ashrams. Bakul trees are frequently found growing at temple entrances. Following the ancient custom of marrying male and female trees, the Bakul, which is considered male, is planted on the right side of the entrance, while the Chalta tree, Dillenia indica, which is considered female, is planted on the left side. The deep green leafy branches of the Bakuls offer luxuriant shade and cool respite from India's blazing heat, creating a peaceful atmosphere that is conducive to meditation. Legend tells that Buddha was born under the glorious golden flowered boughs of the tall Champa tree. The Parijat flowers resemble miniature mandalas with pure white petals unfolding from a bright orange center. This image was seen by the rishis as symbolic of Agni, the purifying flame of awareness, burning away the obscurations of the mind to reveal the petals of purified consciousness. All three of these trees offer a vast pharmacy of ethnobotanical remedies, utilized for centuries for ailments ranging from sore muscles and the common cold to malaria and epilepsy. Their flowers' fragrances have made them so beloved and renowned. The Bakul flowers are tiny but have a potently sweet fragrance which pervades the surrounding countryside. The flowers of Parijat are also small, yet exude a unique and intense honey-like hyacinth bouquet, unlike any flower known to the West. So this Parijat flower is considered quite medicinal, and it is really helpful in helping kids get rid of the intestinal worms, and also It is really helpful for the joints and bones, and it helps us get rid of the aches and pains in the bones and joints. But a very interesting thing about this flower is that the parts of the tree which is useful for medicine, like the leaves and the bark, it only becomes medicinal once it has started to flower, not before that. So that is something quite unique about this plant. The large golden petal flowers of the champa tree are also strongly aromatic, with a radiant, soft, and spicy sweetness. This flower in particular is loved by Indian women who wear the nectar scented blossoms in their hair. Because of their delicate beauty and delicious perfume, bakul, champa, and parijat are used extensively as temple offerings to please the gods and goddesses. And this parijat is specifically used for the Devi, which is Durga Ma, during the Navratri festivals, especially the one that falls in October. And there's another very unique thing about this flower is it is said that this is the only flower that is offered to the goddess even when it has fallen to the ground, because it usually blooms at night and in the morning you will find it fallen on the ground. So people usually clean the under portion of the trees, with the cow dung and so, and they spread some kind of towel or some kind of bed sheet under the tree so the flowers can be easily picked up in the morning, and then it's offered to the deity. They're worn and given as garlands at festivities and ceremonies, made into incense and compounded into an endless variety of unguents and medicated oils. In perfumery, these three flowers are alchemically distilled into a base of sandalwood oil, forming the subtle natural perfumes known as attars. Beneficial for everyone, yet with a distinctly cooling nature. These floral essences are highly effective for pacifying heat conditions of both the body and the mind. 100 years ago, Sri Ramakrishna was walking under the fragrantly flowering trees that grew at the Kali temple in Kolkata. Reaching up, he plucked a blossom and gazed at it in wonder. In his god-intoxicated state, he perceived the white sap oozing from the flower as blood flowing from a wound, and realized that he had just killed a living being. From then on, he instructed his disciples to never pick flowers, but to let them fall naturally to the ground as offerings from the tree. What botanists now know is that when a flower blossoms, it produces a spherical aura of fragrance that is similar to the radiation of light from the sun. Every flower's living aura has its own radius. The golden champa has one of the highest diffusivity levels of all flowers, while the musk champa, which grows only in Bombay, has an even greater radius. One tiny flower can be smelled throughout an entire neighborhood. This parijat also is very, very fragrant, and it is anyone who has been in India for a long time and been around the parijat tree, we know that when the parijat starts to bloom, it's the time for the goddess to come, and that Navratri and the Durga Puja festival. So that this fragrance actually makes that whole atmosphere even more special. The effect of aromatic molecules on consciousness is profound and well documented by both traditional Ayurvedic and modern scientific research. The Charak Samhita tells us that sweet smells maintain youthfulness and vigor and give a long life. They are rejuvenating and increase sensual enjoyment. Mental and physical relaxation combined with heightened alertness improved concentration, enhanced memory, regulation of the nervous system, and restoration of immunity suppressed by stress are only a few of the benefits that science now ascribes to inhaling the aromas of flowers. Is it any wonder that these three trees, which produce a luxurious abundance of intoxicating blossoms, are associated with higher consciousness and the opening of the heart? Walking through a thick carpet of parijat or bakul flowers that have bloomed in the night and fallen to the ground of a temple courtyard, it's easy to understand why the sages of old pointed to the heavens as the source of these flowers. Or perhaps the rishis were telling us that heaven is wherever these beautiful trees bloom. Green universes bursting with living solar systems of spiritually uplifting fragrance, showing us the way back to a better world. So that's the article that we had today. There's one thing I forgot to mention while I was reading it. So he said the bakul flower was always planted in pairs, the male and the female. The male is placed at the right side entry of the temple and the female at the left side. So in the Indian culture, the female, the wife, is known as the Vamangi, which is the one who's formed on the left side. And even, now it has been proved that, the left side of our being is mostly feminine and the right side is, it's male part, it's the male part, right? It's masculine. And even when Shiva in his Ardhanarishwar Roop is shown, when he's shown that half man and half woman, the woman is always on the left side. And so that's the reason whenever a Hindu man is doing any puja or a Hindu couple is doing any puja, or even during the marriage, the wife is always placed at the left side. But during the marriage, she is placed at the left side once the marriage is completed. So then she is formally the goddess of his left side. So that's the reason they place the female on the left side. So that's something I really found interesting. I keep finding nice articles on FLORACOPEIA and I keep visiting the website. So I'll be linking this in the description. You might just want to go and check out more articles there. And so this is the episode for today. I hope you enjoyed this reading of the article. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And if you liked it, give it a like. If you think somebody else will enjoy this reading, just share it with them. This is Dolly Jha here. And I thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Till we meet again next, take very good care of yourself. Namaste.